Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to our podcast.
Today we're covering the amazing video game movie of 2020, Sonic the Hedgehog. Gotta go fast!
This live-action adaptation of the popular video game tells the story of the world's speediest hedgehog as he embraces his new home on Earth, Sonic, and his new best friend Tom.
The Donut Lord.
Team up to defend the planet from the evil genius, Dr. Robotnik, and his plans for world domination.
Yes. And before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell to get updates on future podcasts and all the Paws videos.
Yes.
Man, we were really surprised on how amazing the movie was.
Yes.
Because if you remember, at the time when they announced the live-action Sonic movie, there's usually not that much excitement towards movies like this because they tend not to get things accurate. And it only made it worse when the first time they had it, their first version of Sonic looked horrifying with human teeth and the most nightmare-fueled expression you could ever imagine. And it was so bad that people said, hey, look, can you do it like this, like the game? And Paramount actually listened. They pushed back the release date and said, hey, we heard you. We're going to redesign so he looks more like the character. And then once he was released for the trailer, it looked 100 times better.
Yeah, bravo, Paramount.
So they made a great move on listening, and because they did that, the movie did even better than anticipated.
And that's fantastic because usually studios don't listen to the fans. They do what they want and they give you what they think you should have. So again, bravo Paramount.
Yeah.
Because yeah, he did. I was like, what's wrong with? Oh.
Yeah, I was like, he's got human teeth and everything. That was like the meme of the year with that. But I am glad that they did redesign it. And to be fair, I gave them credit for wanting to say, hey, we're going to make him look realistic. It's a blue hedgehog that runs on two legs, but okay. You did have that in mind, but it was better if they just stuck with the design of the character. And they got close as possible with this movie. So I'm glad that they listened. And like I said, it worked out well because the movie did phenomenally.
Yes.
Because even the trailer before didn't look all that interesting, but when they had the redesign in the new trailer, it looks more exciting.
More, the casting also helped to make it a success. We have, of course, Ben Schwartz as Sonic.
Yes.
Randy Cunningham, 9th grade ninja.
And
Turbo.
Louis Turbo from DuckTales. And
the Turtle.
Yeah, the Leonardo from the Rise of the TMNT series.
And he's perfect and he's brilliant as always. He had James Marsden as Tom, and James Marsden does these type of movies well because if you remember, you last saw him play the partner to an animated character with Hop.
Right. And then you had Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik / Eggman.
And the dichotomy of how he plays him, how he starts out one way and when the movie ends he's another way, only Jim Carrey could do. Brilliant, brilliant.
And you know, a lot of people were kind of put off by that because they weren't sure how they would put off. I mean, he was great comedy choice, but you know how Eggman looks in the game, how Jim Carrey looks. Then when they got to the role of him actually being it, he really didn't look like Robotnik. So people were kind of suspicious until you watch the movie. Then you'll get why they did it. Plus, I think they're going more for the redesign where he looks a little buffer instead of like an egg. So I guess that's why they went with the change.
Right. And you also had Tika Sumpter, who's been in quite a few Tyler Perry TV shows and movies.
Mm-hmm.
You had Neil McDonough. You had
Adam Paley.
Brad Kelly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Tom Butler, Frank C. Turner,
Natasha Rothwell, Adam Pally,
Shannon Chan Kent, and Elfina Luck, and many others. Yeah.
But you know, the main cast really helped to make this movie, to push it into being fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And the animation, of course, was brilliant, perfectly done. He looks normal in a human world.
Right.
I mean, it's like, how did you do that?
Right. Magic. And for here, they also had to introduce a new origin for Sonic because if you know a lot about the long history of the Sonic comics and games, Sonic had a whole different backstory and origin and a family and everything. But after lawsuits happened with the comic creator of certain characters and things, they wiped out all of his original origins and the canonical thing, so they had to come up with a whole new story for this.
There were over 100 characters.
Yeah, over 100 characters were taken out, and Sonic's family and his origin stuff, they were all wiped out. So now it's just like Sonic exists as is, and that's it. Mm-hmm. So in here, he's sort of like, he's an orphan and raised by some talking owl lady, and he's been chased out of his home and sent to Earth. He's being chased by these the Enkenda tribe. So we don't know what they're being used for here. I don't know if they're really bad or that's what they changed them into. Like a lot of these reboots now making the good guys bad guys. But I guess maybe we'll find out when there's a sequel, because we know there's going to be a sequel.
Definitely. If not, something's wrong with Paramount. And we know nothing's wrong with Paramount. Right. So it'll be a sequel.
Right.
And then they give at the end, they give you a heads up as to who is going to be making an appearance next time.
Yes. And see what other characters are going to be showing up later on, because clearly in here they want to establish that Sonic doesn't have his friends here. This is before he meets any of them, so there's no Tails, no Knuckles, no Amy, none of them are in here. But I think as it goes on, we're going to find more of these characters showing up. And one thing I really like is that they showed on how he became the legendary Blue Blur, and they have like his little trademarks were placed all throughout the movie. Like, why does he have the red shoes? Where does he get gotta go fast from? Why does he eat chili dogs?
And they were pretty inventive but simple, not so fantastical or weird. You go, well, that doesn't make sense. It's like, oh, okay, that's you keep doing,
right,
when you see it.
Right. And the one thing they did change that actually was very creative as well was where he has his rings. He get hit by one little thing and he loses all his rings. Yeah, you gotta pick them all back up, and you get the ring, he gets the super speed and stuff. So in here, he has a bag of rings that work as portals. He tosses them, and then they go into like the next dimension or universe in order. So that's how he got to Earth, and that's how he's been traveling to avoid being put in danger. So I thought that was actually a creative idea, because it's never been done with the rings. Usually they're just power or their money, and that's it.
He still kept dropping the bag and losing
the
bag.
So instead of the sound effect that they're being hit by everything, he just lose like, oh, I lost the bag, I gotta find it.
And then the way that he ends up meeting with Tom was also different than we've seen in other movies as well, because this is being done before where a human meets an alien or someone from another planet or dimension, and things ensue and chases.
Right, and the government wants it. Right. Yeah.
Well, some of that stayed, but still the way that he met him and the relationship, the way that it budded, I know that there's a formula for this, but the formula worked.
Right.
This movie, it actually worked.
It didn't feel like it was the same old thing over and over. Like you knew the pattern, you knew this was gonna happen, you knew that's gonna happen. It didn't do just the bare minimum.
Right.
It wanted to do something different. Like, here's this trope, but we're not gonna do the same thing always happens. We're gonna put some things and twist on it. So, and they had a lot of great things that showed that it was deviating from the trope and how things normally go.
I have to say, Ben Schwartz really brought Sonic alive. I know he's being voiced by several voice actors along the way, including Roger Craig Smith.
Yes!
But I have to say, my favorite incarnation is now Ben Schwartz.
Right? he was perfect.
Yes.
And he doesn't shut up either. Oh my gosh. And he also mentioned a line here, like he'll just start talking and he'll talk and he'll talk and he'll talk. Like, do you take a breath?
And one of your favorite lines?
Oh yes, when he said, well actually two lines. One was like, can we go see that? No. Can we go see that? No, it's going to be a waste of time. He got out of the car and came immediately back. Oh, you're right. It wasn't really much. Also, can we do this? And then can we go see that? And he was like just speeding up. Like, shut up. And then the second favorite would be when he got injured and Tom took him to his wife, who's a doctor or a veterinarian. Veterinarian. Right. And he thought it could help him. It's like, this is the head doctor I've ever seen.
And they have no last names, Tom and Maddie.
Right. and he said that he's in danger and so and so. She said he can talk. He said yeah, and he doesn't shut up either. He just goes like on non-stop speed when he just speaks. Like his mouth moves as fast as his feet, basically.
Yeah. It was great, and I'm happy to see that they were respectful to the franchise itself.
Right.
They didn't do things that really drive you nuts in other movies, where there's always got to be some type of strange music,
right,
or
The most they did was a
loving
trailer.
a human, or just things that don't make sense. They stay true to the Sonic myth.
Right. And they also add a little more, I guess you could say, depth for this version of the character. One thing they pointed out is that, Sonic was always running. He didn't really have time to spin in one place. Every time he was in danger, he would leave to the next place. And when he got to Earth, that's where he stayed the longest. And he knows Tom. He's just never seen him. He's like, you like a stalker?
Right.
And the thing is, he's lonely all the time. So when he's like hyper and he's talking, he won't shut up. He's happy he can talk to him finally and talk to somebody, because it shows that he's by himself all the time.
Right.
And feels lonely a lot. So when he finally can talk to somebody, he's just excited. And it's not like the pestering annoyance won't leave you alone or anything. Just like he's happy he can finally talk to somebody.
And it's endearing. I mean, I never thought I would use that word for Sonic, but yes, the way he's portrayed in here, the way Ben Schwartz brilliantly voices him, the way it's been written, he's endearing. He's absolutely an endearing character.
Mm-hmm. And I like how the story isn't so fast. Well, the story's is in a way, ironically, it's fast and it's not fast. It's gotta go fast. How it is, the only really thing you can really say they kind of are iffy about, nothing's wrong with the music, as you said, unless you count the one Robotnik's dancing and it's like an odd sequence. They do a lot of name dropping in terms of real life products and businesses. Like they mention Amazon, they mention Olive Garden, they mention all these brand name things that exist. And I don't know if that was so they can get the funding, so they mentioned them, or they just did it because it's in modern day or what. Right. But that's really the only little pick I have that would be you really didn't need that, because it was why are they mentioning all of these things? If they were making parody ones of real life ones, I think that would make more sense. But they do confirm it's it takes place in the real world. Right. So, but yeah, other than that, there's really nothing major about it. It's they screwed this up, they screwed that up, they slowed down this. They had a new story for this character, and it felt like it fit. It didn't feel like they were trying to be modern, trying to make him cool, or make him more emotional like other live-action movies that try to make things that aren't. Right. So, yeah, the entire thing was really just a great experience for all Sonic fans. Even if you never played Sonic or you watched these shows and stuff, you would definitely enjoy it.
And I think because they gave it a whole new lore, a whole new backstory, added characters you've never seen before, I think that's a great point. Anyone who's never, which is hard to be believed, played a Sonic video game or knows the character, they could watch this movie and they don't need to know anything else, because it's its own movie, it's its own story, and it's safe to not know anything about Sonic and love this movie anyway. Right.
So yeah, I cannot wait for the sequel.
Definitely.
I think they said 2022.
Knowing who's going to make an appearance and kind of have an idea of what's going to be happening, because at the end they do let you know. It's going to be fun, and we got to go fast.
Right, got to go fast. And just like with Detective Pikachu, there's starting to be a new trend. The video game movies are actually becoming successful and well written, because it used to be called the video game curse, where every time someone made a live action adaptation of a video game, it always flopped, because they wouldn't stick to anything in the game. They would change everything to try to make it cool for a certain group of people, and then it would be a flop. But after Detective Pikachu came out and they kept the essence of Pokemon, maybe Paramount got that message and decided to do the same thing, keeping the essence of Sonic. So now more people are wanting to do or want to see video game adaptations, because now it looks like they're finally learning what to do when you make them to be successful.
And now they can give us a Team Rocket movie.
Yes! Team Rocket! We must have a Team Rocket movie! Yes. And don't make them boring or edgy or serious, because...
Or different characters.
Right! They gotta be Jesse, James, Meowth, and they gotta be goofy and lovable.
Absolutely. So we know you've seen this movie, so let us know what you think in the comments below, and let us know if you are a fan of playing the Sonic games. What's your favorite Sonic game? Because Rascals is
Sonic Heroes!
And the music is
Sonic Heroes!
And
be sure to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell to get updates on future podcasts and World of Paws videos,
including the sequel.
Yes. So thank you so much for watching. I'm Rascal Entertainments.
And I'm Mom Entertainment.
Have a toontastic day.
Peace.
And reporters sitting, flashing lights, trying to walk around, man. Who the hell are you? What you wanna do? Well, man, it's on you. Man, it's on you. Hit her in my dreams. She was my queen. A castle in the mountaintops, rivers and streams. Plucking sunlight from the sky in my pocket. Give it to you later on in the form